Round of applause. So this is the deal. My wife Jill challenged me. She said she dared me that I couldn't use the word y'all and flabbergasted in the same sentence, and I just pulled it off. Yes, all right. Okay, so Brian asked me to come here and talk about police pursuits. I am Adam Fortney. I am the current sheriff in Snohomish County, one county north of here. Absolutely. Amen. And that story he just told was King County. I just want to be real clear about that. That was not us who responded to that event. But anyway, it is difficult out there. And he asked me to talk about police pursuits. I said, well, Brian, that's easy. How long do I have? You're going to give me all night to talk about that? I could go 5 minutes or 5 hours. I've probably been in as many police pursuits as there are people out here today. So I can talk about this and the impact that we're seeing right now. But I'm going to start with a story. Jonathan Chow just mentioned storytellers, right? I don't know that I'm the greatest storyteller, but everybody loves it. I'm going to give you a cop story. So back in the day, early 2000s, it'll be brief, I promised. Okay, we could chase for anything and everything. Not only that, at the Snohomish County Sheriff's Office, that was kind of our culture. If you ran, we chased you. Again, this was early 2000s. At the same time, if you remember, Rolling Stone magazine did an article about Granite Falls, Washington, and it was deemed the meth capital of the United States of America, believe it or not. Well, that created some work for us, right? If you can imagine, to the police. And so I got in a police pursuit very early on in my career one night. It was an old van. It should not have been able to hold up very well with what I had, which at that time was a Crown Victoria. I chased this guy all over South Snohomish County, all down Low Larimer Road. We went back east. We end up in kind of the Maltby area of State Route 522. We finally got a pit. You guys know what that is? I pitted the van and it flipped over. Not a good night for the police. We don't want to see that happen, okay? But these guys were totally okay. And we ended up catching that guy. During the pursuit, I kid you not, you know those vans that the double doors open in the back like that? His partner that was in the van with him was taking those very small propane containers, the Coleman ones, throwing them at my windshield. No joke, you cannot make this stuff up. And so we pitted him, he rolled. You know what it was? It was a mobile meth lab, you guys. A mobile meth lab. Yeah, absolutely. But we were able to hold him accountable, and that guy actually ended up going to prison for about 8 years on that one because he had a lot of history. That's a good story, right? There is an actual point of why I'm here tonight and why I told that story, and that is if that happened tonight in the state of Washington, we're not going to be able to chase that guy. I'm happy I was able to chase that guy and hold him accountable and get that methamphetamine off of our streets and out of the hands of kids or users. That's what we don't want. So if that happened right now, we would not be able to do that. What we are facing right now in the entire state of Washington, the state got involved in the police's business about, 3 years ago? And they corrected some of that stuff. One of the areas they have not corrected, and if anybody tells you otherwise, they're not telling you the truth, is the area of police pursuits, okay? I'm going to say something super profound here, okay? Yes, that's a little bit of sarcasm, okay? When you tell the crooks ahead of time, follow me here, that there's a whole list of crimes that the police cannot chase you for no matter what. It's against the law. What do you think is going to happen to those crimes? The crooks aren't dumb. I mean, they know what's going on. Example number one are stolen cars in the state of Washington. Now, in 2023, should the police chase every single stolen car that runs? Probably not, because pursuits are dangerous and we got to make sure the community is safe. Absolutely. But if it's 3 a.m. and there's no traffic out there, yes, as the sheriff of Snohomish County, I think the police should have the discretion to chase that car and hold that person accountable. What's happening right now, that is absolutely worth a round of applause. I'm almost done. So we've been living under these laws for 2 years, so now we can look back and say, hey, if it's working, maybe they were onto something, right? Maybe, okay, but we can look back now. Vehicle theft is up 88% in the state of Washington. The crime stats just came out last month from WASPIC, and they added 10,000 vehicle thefts in 2022 in the state of Washington, and we surpassed Florida per capita. That should never happen. Their population is way higher than ours. So my message to you is we need this initiative. And listen, every police department, sheriff's office should have the discretion and authority within their departments to do what is right for their respective communities. I think that's, as Brandy's booth says over there, is a common sense approach to police pursuits. You don't need to be a law enforcement executive to figure some of this stuff out. So like I said, when you tell the crooks ahead of time, we can't chase you for all these crimes, what we see those crimes go up.